And hello, this is Matt Bradley-Tschirgi. I'm doing some streaming of Tetris Forever, excuse me. I'm just got affiliate status on Twitch. It's pretty exciting. If you like what you see, please like or follow, all that stuff. And Tetris Forever, it's a compilation from Digital Eclipse. I got this on sale recently when they were doing all those Cyber Monday things. It might still be on sale. Not sure of the price, but Digital Eclipse is great at these compilations, and we are going to take a look and do some good old Tetris. See what's on here and all that stuff I'm playing on the computer. In case you're wondering which version of this Tetris Forever compilation. So you can just push the X button just to get right to the games, which might be a good way to start. But we can also go through this. This is kind of like this timeline thing they tend to do, right? Where you can, I mean, we could start a little bit with this first timeline, and you can see, there's photos of Alexei Pajitnov, who developed Tetris. And, documentary videos, you can see it's based off this, I don't know if I'd call it board game. It's like a literal puzzle game called Polyominoes, something like that, right? And then it became, you can see all these different versions. But yeah, let's just go and play the games. The documentary stuff I don't think would be so interesting for me to go through. And we can try, this is not every version of Tetris, but is it sorting by platform? That sort by the year, yes please, that's what I want. Why did it, that's so strange. Okay, so this is like this first version is a recreation of the original on the Russian mainframes, the Electronica 60. So, no music, none of that stuff. Let's take a listen. And yeah, if you have any Tetris questions, feel free to ask. So it says a detailed recreation of the original version of Tetris created by Alexei Pajitnov for the Electronica 60 computer at the Moscow Academy of Sciences. The original version did not award, that's interesting, did not award points for completing lines. Points were awarded based on how fast you dropped the tetrimino pieces into place. So you can do monochrome green or white. 84, we can start with the 84 version, then go to the 85 version and see what's different. It's asking what level you want to start at. So do level 0. And you can play it with a controller. Of course, originally you couldn't, and notice in these old versions of Tetris, it doesn't show the preview of what happens, of where your piece is going to block. Although that it has all these dots makes it a little bit easier to read than some of these earlier versions. And that it's in Russian is a nice touch. And yeah, no sound effects. I mean, this is, but the basic Tetris thing, right? It's just such a classic formula that even in this basic version, it's a good game. I think Tetris is one of the best game designs of all time. Is it like if I was going to play a game, is it always going to be Tetris? And the answer is not really, but sometimes it is. So you can try it. And that this is even on here. I think it just shows the real attention to detail. So do you want to play until I die? I guess. We'll see how quickly that is. With no music or anything, and the lack of sound effects don't really bother me that much. But the lack of music, it is throwing me off quite a bit. I guess out of recent versions of Tetris, a Tetris Effect on the like PS4 and stuff, I think is a really good version, where it syncs in time to techno music and has different designs for these different kind of a group of stages that are based on constellations, and it gets weirdly emotional, I think, with how it gets everything all in time with each other. I do have a charity on here if you'd like to donate. That's appreciated. It's to Pig Squad, Portland Independent Game Squad. So they are a local nonprofit here in Portland, Oregon, where it lets people learn game design, and they do game jams. I covered them once for a PC Gamer article that ended up not coming out, but that was still a really memorable experience. Getting to remind me of in my days at school doing game design and all that. Okay. So we can see it's still, I'm at level 1, we got past level 0. Notice it doesn't say no celebrations, right? Oh, come on. It just has in that corner, as it said, you don't get all these fireworks when you go to a new stage. But that's all you have here. Come on. Good old Tetris. I've normally played Dragon Quest on here, but I'm not this time. I'm trying something a little bit different, mixing it up. And also, I accidentally uninstalled Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD Remake, which was a mistake. But it should still have my game saved on here with how Steam does cloud saves and everything. So hopefully I did not lose 8 hours-ish of progress, right? Oh, it did a little hitch there. I don't know if that was... for those wondering about my computer specs, I'm on a Ryzen 7, I think last year's model, 16 gigs of RAM, and it's some kind, I think a 40 something or other GeForce card. So I got on sale for around $700, HP Victus. I'm pretty happy with it with the kind of gaming I do. So you can see here, there's all these things. We're making progress. But I want to quit the game, right? And if we do this 1985 version, I just want to see what's different. I don't think I'll do a totally different one, but let's start at level 3, I guess. And this other version doesn't seem so different, truth be told. But that's all right. We're going to keep on going. So we're going to go and play a different version that's not this original Electronica 60. And this next is Academy Soft. A lot of these I haven't played, some of these older ones. The first one I played was on the Nintendo, I guess. I'm not sure if that version is on here. So this is a largely completed version of the original Tetris for DOS, ported from the original game, which was in I didn't know it was in Pascal. It was interesting. It has color graphics, and this was the first bootleg version that kind of came around here. So enter your level. We'll just default at 5. And wow, I mean, already we can see that it's in color. Instead of, it's the shapes, right? Instead of the individual kind of blocks. So that makes it, I think, a little harder to read, but that it's, these EGA graphics, I think, livens up the screen as opposed to just the green graphics we were seeing there. And the colors make it harder, I would say. They still have the dots where you can line up yourself. Not yourself, what am I saying? Lining up things. And that shows the statistics, right? Which is something that you would get a lot. That'd be a standard thing. So, I mean, for a bootleg, I think this looks pretty good. This does not have, like, the illustrations of the Russian, like, paintings in the background, like the original, like, DOS version did, right? But what can you do? And yeah, this Tetris compilation was not listed under the games on Steam, so I had to pick Tetris Forever, which I think might be on here or something. But we want to kind of go through a few different one of these. I just want to see what happens like when you die. I'm kind of curious because I'm not doing very good with just those shapes and not seeing those little blocks in there, right? And that each block has a different shape not shape, excuse me, color is an interesting choice. You didn't always get that. You also have some more sound effects. Again, nothing great, but it does add to what's going on. Yeah, I'm just going to die. So I have to say, okay, so now this is Ego Q Roban Tai Taikyoku. And, right, so Hank Rogers, who would produce Tetris, I think he still has the rights to officially produce Tetris games. His first, one of his first games in Japan was based off of Go, originally for the C64, then ported to the Famicom. I don't know how to play Go, but we can try playing this a bit. It's bulletproof software, nice. That's a nice little logo graphic with that sheen on there. So you have these little ninjas at the top. You have different levels. Oh, I see. We're selecting what level. Okay. Couldn't quite tell what the ninjas were doing there. Yeah. So now we get to decide where to... It's more complicated than checkers. Yeah, this isn't... I'm not going to play this one. I know too little about... I mean, you can go into the manual, which of course is all in Japanese, but that these manuals are here is cool. That they didn't like how to play... So we can look over the rules, but I'm not going to remember them. Ancient game of strategy, in which you capture the most territory in the board by surrounding it with your stones. If you surround an enemy stone with your own, you will capture it and remove it from the board. Black plays first, white plays second. Okay. Good to know. I mean, that this is included is nice, because it's about the history of this company. It doesn't include their RPG game, Black Pearl. That would have been neat to see. But now we can see this Academy Soft is a later version of this bootleg version of Tetris, right? So we're going to see play. We want to show which thing comes next. Whoop. And this, is in color. It has, like the UI is slightly different. It was showing you could do more options, like have pieces be invisible or something like that. But I played a bit of this before. We're going to just quit and kind of... Why don't we try, going backwards a bit? But I mean, yeah, just overall, you have this Tetris on DOS, Apple II, Famicom, Weltris, Hatris, Super Tetris, Hatris, Tetris 2, Bomb Bliss, Hatris, Super Nintendo, Tetris Battle Gaiden, Super Tetris 2, Super Tetris 3, Super Bomb Bliss, Super Bomb Bliss DX, Tetris Time Warp. Let's try Time Warp. That's the new one they made for this compilation. It's kind of a fun title screen. We'll do single player. Get the highest score. 3 minutes for the highest score. 1989 marathon. How fast can you clear 40 lines in the 1989 area? How fast can you do 40 lines? I can do the 3-minute version, I guess. You can change the music. Yes, we'll do this classic Tetris music, of course. and I think it keeps on swapping through the different areas of Tetris. The time warps, it said. So we can see it has that preview kind of ghost thing, which makes the game significantly easier. But I'm okay with that change. I used to be really against it, but I think as your eyes don't get as good and stuff, it makes, especially if you're playing this like on a big TV and the monitor's not in front of you, it can be challenging to line these things up by sight, right? So we're not getting very far in this time attack, are we? There we go. Got one line. And I wonder how you switch the time period you're playing in. Does it just do it by itself? Don't know. We'll see. Single, nice. There we go. Let's keep going. I'm not going very fast, am I? We're halfway through the 3-minute time mark. But these graphics are nice and colorful. Maybe it's every 10 lines that it changes. That could be. I always like those L shapes. I think they're pretty versatile. They cover a lot of spots, right? They cover a lot of verticality. And we can see the background changed a bit, and it's going back to 93. Oh, look at that. So this looks like a... I'd say more so than Super Nintendo or something. We see the timer, right? So it's going to change again in 8 seconds. And that I can do... Oh, this is one of the bomb games, okay. Oh, so you earn bonus points in the warp, I guess. This is kind of a retro-sounding version of the classic Tetris music, which is based off a Russian folk song about, I think peasants working in a field or something. I used to know more about that. I'm sure that's in the history section in the timeline. And Paganoff made a lot of games after Tetris, but Tetris, of course, was the big one. Yes. The T is another great shape. It's very versatile. So we're doing this, and yeah, not great. So 17 lines. Time attack complete. Okay. And that nice 3D effect. I got a high score. Cool. So I'm gonna quit. And let's go backwards in time. Let's see, Super Tetris. Let's do Super Tetris 3. Has Tetris Classic, Magicalist, Sparkless, and Famless. Famulous? I don't... Yeah, most of these Super Nintendo Famicom ones didn't come to the SNES. There was like a Tetris / Dr. Mario kind of thing where two of them are in one cart, but that's not going to be in this collection. Super Tetris 3 with that kind of flame sound effect. Doing the classic music, of course. We'll do one player. And then I guess we get to pick... I'll just do this here. No, I wanted beginner. And you have to register a name so that it saves your progress, I guess. Magic. Let's try sparkless, I guess. Sparkless. Um, does something with lightning, it says. You got that cool little dragon effect. That's cool. Oh, that's really neat with the little dragons. Again, pretty small game board here, but let's see. This kind of heavy metal sounding thing. Oh, and the lightning will get rid of, I see, it kind of... Lightning clears out those lightning parts. Could have said that more eloquently, but you don't get the preview stuff on here, right? That's fine. So the lightning... Oh, huh. So, I mean, it becomes a little bit like columns, doesn't it, right? But that dragon theme is cool. I don't know if that changes or you got to do 1 out of 92 means what? I have to see how much I can score with 90 blocks. Is that what they're saying? Really not sure what we're doing here. This is pretty odd with the dragon theme, I must admit. And is it good that the lightning gets rid of everything? That's what I'm not sure about. Okay. Yes, I want this. All right. And I guess that you have to come up with different modes, because if it's just straight up Tetris and you're charging, you know, what would have been probably $70 or $60 at the time, people want more than just the standard old mode. It says break time when you do pause, so getting voices on there is kind of unusual. Oh, I did complete the stage. So that's something. Oh, so it's 100 levels. Okay, so I'm going to quit this. We had Super Tetris, Bombliss, Gentibon, Tetris, Tetris on Game Boy, Tetris on Famicom, a lot of Tetris. If we do Tetris on the Apple II, right, that's something where it talks about it being invented in Russia, and it has the programmers. And you can pick what level. We can do level 2. I like the map of the world and what height it starts at, right? Meaning what other, if it has other, Okay, so this one, right? Having the shapes and not the individual blocks, I just don't like as much. That you have these background colors and stuff is cool. That I don't mind. Like these kind of painting things. One is like of the space program and what have you. And I pushed down too quickly. That's not good. I want to at least get 10 lines or something. Is that going to change the background? That's what I can't remember. I think that's what changes the background. But already, like, I think I weirdly prefer the hacked version to this, but my uncle used to play Tetris at work. I think that was one of his first games he liked. He loved Tetris. He liked Myst, like the kind of puzzlers, right? But other than that, and then he tried like Diablo, and he wasn't much of a fan of that either. Look at these little gaps here at the graphics. That's kind of odd. You know, it's not, everything's not so snug, right? So that makes it, again, a bit more challenging to play this, because visually there's just these gaps. And this is a game about, if nothing else, you're trying to close up gaps, right? So you can't quite get what you want here. So we are going to keep going. I bet I can get at least 10 lines here. What do you say? I think you can do 10 lines. All right. Here we go. Nice. I'll go in here. And we had 11 lines, and the background did not change. Maybe that just depends on what level you start at, is what background you get. Let's go. Yes. Ah. There you go. Go. Not doing so well here, but you get the idea. You can even change it out to monochrome, monitor. Oh, that's real nice. Real nice choices here. Keep on going. Tetris on the Famicom, known as the NES. Why it's Famicom, not the NES version, I think, is a bit. Must be licensing issues, I guess. That just strikes me as weird. And then they don't have. Well, we can try Tetris on Famicom. I don't know how that's different from the. Oh, this is Hatris. Excuse me. Hatris, you stack up different hats. Do they have Phaestris? I don't know. So that's the designer, Alexei Pajitnov, and we're gonna just start. Okay. So this is not. You're just lining up like 3 hats. This isn't. As far as game ideas go, this one is kind of dumb. That being said, it's like you come up with Tetris. What other things can you come up with? That's sort of the challenge Alexei Pajitnov had. So there you go. You can see 5 hats. You clear a line. Geez. Mess this up, aren't we? Another. So, I mean, you get the idea. Like, this one's not rocket science. You go and do Just the gaps in here, like Fastress was a big deal. Like, and that it's not on here kind of bums me out, but you have all these Super Nintendo ones. Just did Famicom. If we do Famicom Tetris, that's what I was trying to play originally. So this does not have the Nintendo license, right? Nintendo is the publisher of the original version. And this Tetris is... Techno. Oh, I see. The controls on this are weird. And so yeah, this is very different from the Nintendo version in that they don't have... The Nintendo one I grew up with is... So with the control pad, you rotate it and then you press B to drop it. But yeah, you still have all the... you have colors and you have the individual outlines of the blocks. I think that's cool. Like that part I like. Yeah, those controls you can change in the control settings, but that's weird. Weltris, Hatris. Yeah, we can do Weltris. Weltris is a bit trippy. In some versions, I think it was called Tetris 2, maybe. So you're playing Tetris like you're looking down a well, like first-person perspective, right? So that automatically does copy protection. Is nice. So we're gonna set up the game and the speed, and we can see on the right, you know, there's like an American and Tetris or whatever. So we can see it drops down the side, and it kind of slides up like that, right? Until it hits the end. So it's... I love the picture of them ordering pizza. So I mean, this one, it's not one of my favorites. That it's here is cool. We'll keep jumping around. Seeing where it goes. We did Super Tetris, MS-DOS. Tetris 2 on Famicom. Super Tetris 2. I guess let's look up Super Tetris 2 on Super Famicom. Bomb Bliss is also Tetris Blast. Okay, got it. Where it's like the Lightning version, you have the different little pieces in there. And you have snazzier bulletproof software graphics. Super Tetris 2 on Bomb Bliss. Nice. And it has the Japanese way of entering things where B confirms instead of A. I'll do Tetris or Bomb Bliss. Guess we'll do some good old Tetris to see what's different. I don't know what A, B, and C type means. So it doesn't do the preview thing, but this music is nice and relaxing. You have animation in the background, so that's something you didn't have on the NES or DOS versions, right? Nice sound effects when you rotate the pieces. Again, it doesn't sound like a lot, but every little bit helps when you're talking Tetris. Go. shit. The background doesn't change after 11 lines, but maybe it will after 20. How do I get to level, get past level 1 in this version, right? I don't know. You know, the bright, clear colors, the backgrounds, I mean, yeah, this is a pretty good version of Tetris. I'm not sure why this was never brought to the US. This is perfectly fine. There we go. We got to level 2. Would have been nice if the background would have changed or something, but it did not. Okay, so there's that. So that you get a lot of these Super Famicom versions is cool. Super Tetris 2. The gameplay is identical to the original, but the puzzles are different, it says, so we can try one of the bombless versions. Bombless original concept was not by Pagetnov, so why? Right. We'll do bombless contest or puzzle? Contest, I guess. Sure. And that's a nice, no animation, but a nice kind of background thing. And if you line up those red things, I think they explode a certain way. Oh. Huh, that's different. So we can see that lightning kind of version in Tetris 3. Worked out alright. Get those cool combos, right? So some more strategic play. I'm just not quite sure what's setting off the bombs exactly or how you trigger them. It's kind of the great mystery, isn't it? Oh well. So if I lined up all of these right, that doesn't... It's a dumb move, that didn't really do anything. We'll keep on going. Just hopping around here. Tetris 3 we played. That artwork's pretty cool for the Super Bombless, huh? Super Bombless DX. Let's try that Game Boy Color. An exclusive... Yeah, what's the puzzle mode? You have to finish a level in so many moves. We can try that out. Yellow bulletproof software logo with that lion. And by default it's doing this filter, which is nice. So we do one player puzzle. Oops. This is pretty festive music. Again, which way do you make it so these things matter? Is that you have to set off a line and then that sets off the bomb, I guess? Game over, it said. If we try again, are we trying not to set off the bomb? Is that the idea? I don't know. what's the puzzle part? And we only have 3 pieces, right? So 3 moves. And we didn't do it again either. So that below it says handheld power instead of Game Boy, for copyright reasons is funny. But I mean, so if we do how to play, I'm just puzzle, figure out how to clear each stage, fight. As a character you have to battle against. We'll get out of here. Tetris Battle Gaiden, focused on 2-player competition. And you go against different... yeah, I remember playing this one in college on an emulator, I think. You can play against the computer. There are these different kind of anime characters and different tactics. That they didn't translate this stuff is a little strange. But there's how to play stuff in English. And we're just seeing who we fight against, right? This looks nice, the kind of 7 dwarves or something, right? Oh, I pushed the wrong button again. Darn Japanese controls. Looks like a little fairy tale book, right? It's mentioning something about a dragon's castle, I guess. That's where we're fighting them first. And there's an RPG style in the battle world, it says. And we're on Bamboo, I guess, and it's... Well, maybe we're playing as the dwarves, I guess, and we're fighting Pumpkin Man or something. Again, you know, really colorful graphics. I think if they were to bring one of these to the US, I think this one would have made sense with the 2-player focus and the colorful kind of graphics. And it still does the bomb bliss thing, right? With the... Oh, I see. Or if the yellow things add up enough, then it does certain text to the other side. I mean, this is kind of... sort of like that old puzzle fighter game, right? Get him. Damn it. So we're getting these extra lines because of this guy is doing better than me, getting more lines than me ultimately. But now we got all these gaps and how we're going to close them, right? This music sounds a bit like Gremlins on the Nintendo, doesn't it? Nice, another 4-piece. Are we going to kill this guy? I have no idea, probably not. He did some kind of special attack with his magic bats, I guess. Should probably... Whoa. So did he win? He's doing fire spells. Fancy. Not doing that well, am I? Oh well. The music is colorful. I like these different backgrounds with the different characters. I think the Battle Gaiden is a good upgrade these other versions where it's like, oh, Dragon Lightning mode or whatever. It's kind of like, I'm glad this stuff is here. This is an eclectic collection of Tetris. It's never going to be every version. But especially for the sale price, I think I got it for like $20 or something. I think that's not a bad deal for all those Tetris games if you're a bit of a Tetris historian. Damn it. What does this even mean? Oh. He cast a spell where I can't see what I'm doing, so I'm going to die, I guess. Yep. Well, let's go back into the... spend a bit of time in that history mode. And we can go with this Tetris... talks about different people doing different, sequels around the world, right? So... the search for Tetris 2, and it talks about, when it comes to Tetris, less is more. So you can watch these videos. Look at all these different things.
When a new platform comes out, or when the old games, everybody has
all
it
these
already?
Different Tetris versions, man.
What do you do for an encore?
Here we are playing one proposal for a...
Oh wow, that's an old like 1980s video, right?
Tetris 2.
Some people pitching
And
different versions of Tetris.
From anything that I've played.
Yep,
The fact that I can't stop playing is a good sign.
This is
I
Hank
remember
Rogers
talking
and
to Alexi about this a lot. What does Tetris 2 look like?
and they made a movie
very
about
first night that we
Tetris being designed called
that we
Tetris.
were
That's on
together,
Apple TV.
We talked about what do we do about Tetris 2, and yeah, I thought about this.
They're playing Bomb Bliss, right? So some of the versions we were playing before. So, they talk about Bomb Bliss. It's a combination of exploding bombs. And so this is, and it talks about them trying to work with the creator of Dragon Quest and stuff to do a new version of Tetris, but the version that would show up is a version that Bomb Bliss is designed by Akihiko Miura, and Pejanoff worked with them to get it how they wanted. Super Tetris and bombs as well, just in a different way. There's a version of Tetris on CDI, which had high-resolution film backgrounds and a new wave soundtrack. Tetris Classic with VGA graphics. I remember this as when I was a kid, sure, right? This goofy advertising for, you could get, Tetris Classic, Super Tetris is with the bombs, or Wordtris. I'm surprised Wordtris isn't on here. I think that's a fun one. Tetris on the radio. There's a dance sequel Tetris that remixed, one of which was Andrew Lloyd Webber, really? Wish you could play the music, but I'm sure with the rights you can't. Wow, Hillary Clinton playing Tetris on the Game Boy. That is a historical photo. I don't remember that, but certainly that would have been news. The cosmonaut Alexander Cerebro. So the trivia for all this stuff is really interesting. Tetris Gold was a cool one, right? Because it combined Face-Tris and Word-Tris and all these different Tetris versions on a CD-ROM. Now, is that a lot of space on a CD? The answer is no, it's not. However, it is quite something. This is the one we were doing, right? The cartoon characters, the Gaiden, and the ads introduce these different players you can play as well as talking about 8,500 yen. That's a lot of money. Wow. Showing all the different Tetrises you can play. Super Tetris 2 is just like the first one, except they had different puzzles for the puzzle mode. And Super Tetris 3 had magical lists, where you change the pieces when you rotate. Sparkless does the lightning boss, bombless, and fambless was 4 players. And so this ad talks about, the kingdom, this is the best version of Tetris ever. And that Super Bombless got its own game is a bit unusual. Tetris goes 3D. So yeah, the Virtual Boy, I think it was a bit more like Weltris or something. And there was lawsuits, excuse me, to figure out who owned Tetris or what, because he made it while he was working for the Russian government, or a Russian university, something like that. Tetris Junior, little keychains where you can play Tetris. Let's see this.
In Japan, all of a sudden, there was a fad that came out. You could buy this little 8 by 12.
So it was a bootleg, but they did a
Tetris
deal with
machine.
them to make it a real product,
It was called Tetris.
legit product.
It was, it was a little tiny Tetris game, and so we went to bat, and we chased the company down and said, "No, you can't be doing this. This is a Tetris knockoff." We went to court and stopped them from
No, they had to sue him. Okay.
publishing the game, and rather than have those just start to go black market, what we did is we went upstream and we said, "We'll buy
Sneaky.
your production."
So they said, "You'll
And
make
we
it. We'll make it
upgraded the design.
a better official
and,
version of it."
We sold them in Japan.
After
and,
suing them and getting money.
Square sold them in the U.S. By the way, the next keychain game that came after that was Tamagotchi. So we started the keychain game boom in
So
Japan.
Tetris was, they
with
did a few
Tetris,
different keychain
and then
versions, and then
came. It was a
Tamagotchi
huge hit.
kind of was a knockoff of that, or not a knockoff, but something similar. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I didn't know Roger Dean did that Tetris logo. And they're talking about versions like Grandmaster, DX. And again, it's frustrating that these versions aren't on here, right? But the next Tetris, these versions on PlayStation. Then we go to the next outline. We can do a little bit more of this, going through it. So talk about Tetris for free everywhere. There's a free version you can play on shockwave.com. Listening to contemporary artists like Q Burn's Abstract Message. Right, Tetris being online. Pokemon Tetris, sure. The Simpsons play Tetris to get their kids in the car. So that they can do all this stuff. I mean, they really put a lot of research into all of this. Tetris. Huh. I don't know if I think I've seen this. Maybe it's like a 7-foot tall version of Tetris in an arcade. Wow. Over 100 million people have paid to get Tetris on their mobile devices. That's extraordinary. This game keeps on making money. There's a Tetris-themed lottery ticket. Who would have thought? And yeah, that's Hank Rogers' daughter, Maya Rogers, is the CEO of Blue Planet Software. I don't think it was Bulletproof. Maybe it was Bulletproof at one point. That's a different company. Tetris Effect was the one I mentioned on PlayStation. That's pretty good. Tetris 99 on the Switch. That's a really good version. You're playing against 100 people at the same time. And when they make lines, you kind of go around like that. So Tetris on Genesis Mini. They had a 16-foot tall Tetris cabinet, and you had to climb a flight of stairs to play the game. Tetris Chicken McNugget. Yeah, I thought about getting this version. Look at this, right? It's just a little Tetris game on a miniature McNugget made for the Chinese market. And Tetris the movie, of course, it was on 2023 on Apple TV. Tetris Time Warp, Tetris Forever. and ever for decades. Yeah, yeah, no, it's been around for a while. So yeah, I mean this Tetris Forever collection is really cool. Why did I say it's not on here? It is. I'm playing Tetris Forever. Or no, because the game, whatever, it doesn't matter. But yeah, I mean, so this is a pretty cool collection. I'd recommend it. Tetris is the one game that's going to be around when all other games are gone. Hank Rogers. And I don't know if games will disappear. Play Tetris, my friends, Alexei Pajitnov. Right. So those are two good quotes to kind of close this out with. Hope you like what you saw. If you do, give me a follow, share, like, and subscribe, all that stuff, and I will catch you later. Bye.